I'm Sharon.
And I'm Barry.
And welcome to the guest house. So today I thought it would be fun to talk about how to extend your fridge space when you're on a longer trip, especially because it's the middle of December and it's getting cold out.
Yeah, what a better topic to talk about.
Exactly.
Cold stuff.
Before we talk about that, let's talk about what we're drinking today. Today we are drinking Vigilante coffee. It's a real cute local coffee shop. They source their own beans and roast them and grind them and
sell them.
Today we're drinking Capim Seco from Brazil. I'll put a link down below. And it is the French press grind because I used a French press to brew it.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so moving on.
Oh, thank God.
Moving on. So generally our RV fridge, which is a tiny evaporation fridge, it can accommodate pretty much everything that we need on a weekend trip, right? Yeah.
Bag of ice, a couple things.
Yeah, some frozen meat, if we're doing that, the veggies and fruit and whatever, milk and things that we need to keep cold.
Did you hear that? She just said fruit. It's fruit in the freezer.
Well, sometimes, it just depends. Anyway, so we went on a longer trip this summer, and before the trip, I got a little concerned that everything I planned to bring along was not going to fit in the tiny freezer or in the tiny fridge. And since I'm a planner, I like to plan out the meals, and then I like to grocery shop for everything that I think we're gonna need, from breakfast to snacks at night, everything. Because I don't like grocery shopping while we're on vacation. That just takes away from my vacation completely. So I started looking for a compressor fridge, a portable compressor fridge freezer. And I found one.
You did?
I did.
Let me guess. Amazon.
Of course. Everything is on Amazon. I wish it wasn't, but it is. So the manufacturer of the one that we bought is F40C4TMP. And I had to read it because I can never get it right if I'm just trying to say it.
But what does that stand for? That actually stands for something.
I don't know. I totally took a guess that Fahrenheit 40 is equal to Celsius 4. I never really checked, but I think that's about right. Anyway, so those of you who know Celsius and Fahrenheit, you can correct me down below.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
Yep, which is fine. I'm okay with that. So we got a 53 quart. It is the largest one that they sell. And I got that because I was really concerned that the next largest one, the 40, was just not going to be big enough.
Yeah.
And
bigger's always better anyway.
I'm really glad that we got the bigger one, aren't you?
Oh yeah, oh, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Held everything for a whole week that we needed.
Yeah, so what did we have that we brought over the week?
Steaks, chicken,
ice cream,
bacon,
hammer, sausages, bacon, chicken, ice cream. Oh, the bag of ice. How big was that? It was
10 pound?
10 pound bag of 10 pound bag of ice.
Enough ice.
The other good thing about this particular fridge freezer is that it's got two sections. It's got a section with a basket, thank you. Where it's having a little senior moment there. Where you put the stuff that you want freezing to
get really cold. She's having a hard time. Don't leave any bad comments. It'll bother her.
It won't, actually. I'm just thinking I'm under caffeinated because my coffee is sitting on the table down below.
Oh, right.
So there is, so that takes about 2/3 of the freezer, and 1/3 of it is reserved for a less cold space that still stays very, very cold. But it
doesn't freeze.
Right, it's good to put, so like if you have extra milk, half and half eggs, anything that you don't want to be frozen.
Like fruit.
We didn't put fruit in that. So, what do you think about the freezer after we used it for an entire week?
So let's back up just a little bit. So when we were talking about this and looking at the different models, I said, if we're going to buy one, let's buy the absolute cheapest one we can. Because if it works, great. If it doesn't, we're not out a lot of money. Because you can spend anywhere from, this model was $350, was the cheapest we found, upwards of over $1,000.
Well, and
That's a lot to spend.
I was looking at the really expensive one thinking, but that's what everybody gets.
Not us.
And Barry says, yeah, I don't really want to spend that much. And I said, oh, thank you. I don't either. We were not confident when we bought it. I was thinking, I'm going to have to return this big giant thing. So we immediately, as soon as it arrived, we took it out of the box, we plugged it in, and we tested to see how long it took to get cold. And so when we first turned it on, started out at 68 degrees, and it took about an hour to get to 14 degrees and about another hour to get down to 0 degrees. The lowest temperature that you can set it is -4 Fahrenheit. And it eventually got down to -4, and it kind of held anywhere between -4 and 0 degrees all the time.
Empty.
Yeah. Then the next thing I did was I thought, well, let's see how long it takes to freeze some water bottles. That's kind of simple, right? And so I put 12 16.9 ounce bottles of water, and it took 4 hours to freeze.
To completely freeze.
To completely freeze them
pretty good.
solid.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah.
I mean, the one thing I like about this too is it's super quiet. We had in the back of our pickup truck, our first trip that we used it on was a week in Camp Hatteras, but it was 90 degrees on the beach.
Yeah.
And we had this in the back seat. It only takes up a spot that one person would sit in. So we plugged it in the back, completely quiet. We couldn't hear it while we were driving.
Yeah.
It was so quiet. For a compressor, it was very, very quiet.
Forgot it was there.
Yeah.
Actually, because it's so quiet. That was the other good thing about it, is that it can plug into regular 110 and into 12 volt. So we could have it plugged in the truck. And it also has a switch on it to help prevent battery drain in your vehicle.
It's a nice safety feature.
Right,
Yeah.
which is really kind of great.
So if you accidentally leave it plugged in, or inadvertently, I mean, it's plugged in but your truck's off, it will shut off before it drains your battery.
Exactly.
That's a nice feature.
And if it does shut off and it was really cold to begin with and it's got a bunch of frozen stuff in it, it acts like a cooler. Yeah. So it's sealed really, really well. And
it looks just like a cooler.
It looks like a cooler from the outside. I think if you didn't see the little digital panel on it,
and the plug hanging out of it,
you wouldn't know. Like if you're just looking at it and the plug is in the back, you wouldn't know that it was not just a cooler. So when we went to Camp Hatteras, how did you store this?
Well, so we kept it outside the RV, the front of it, the Airstream. I have a bicycle lock, so I just locked it to the chassis of the RV.
Since gotten a better cable lock for it.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody really wanted to steal it, cable or whatever kind of lock, they're going to steal it.
Yeah, you know how that works. That's some of the safety stuff that you do to prevent theft is really just a deterrent that maybe they'll move on to somebody else or just move on altogether.
Well, and that was another reason we went with the cheapest we could, because I didn't want to put $1,000 cooler outside and go to the beach and come back and it's gone. And somebody got all of our steaks for the week. I kind of been so mad.
He'd be mad about the steaks and the ice cream.
So anyway, I kept it out there for a full week in the 90s during the day, and it was in the sun a lot. So I just kept a cheap tarp I just threw over it in case it rained, and I think it sprinkled once. But it was really more to keep the sun off it directly. But it kept everything rock solid frozen the whole week. There was not one issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked flawlessly for the cheapest one we could find.
Yep, I think so. Important to note, it is not waterproof. So that was another reason why we kept it in the tarp. First, to protect it from the sun, and second, to protect it in case there was any rain. It did rain one day while we were at Hatteras, because I remember very distinctly that as soon as it rained, internet service took a nosedive.
But the cover that we bought for it also probably would be sufficient enough. I mean, if you look at the cover, it would completely cover everything to protect it from rain. Yeah, it would have been enough.
Cover.
Yeah. At first, I thought the cover was a waste of money. You totally got to get it. If you're going to get a cooler, you're probably going to have it outside at some point. Buy the cover. It protects it.
Yeah, I remember you said, you bought the cover?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
And I said, because I think it'll be a good idea.
Oh, she was so long.
We'll show you the cover. We'll show you the cooler. We'll show you the cover. We'll show you the inside.
Oh, we should.
The inside has a light in it, which is really kind of nice. And so when you open it, the light turns on, and that's great. It's got a little chain that prevents it from the lid from flying over, cracking off. It's very sturdy. I was pretty impressed with it. I will say this, that when I was looking at them on Amazon in early summer, there were several brands that looked identical, like absolutely identical. Everything about them looked identical except for the brand badge on them. And so I selected this one, and I found this one by, say, maybe 4 different manufacturers or brands, and I just picked the cheapest one. Yeah. So that was what I did. Anyway, so what else would we like to say about this? Anything?
No. If you're looking for a cheap solution, for $350, again, it to me is worth it. We won't use it on weekend trips, but if we're going for a week where we're going to bring a lot of food, absolutely. Yep. It takes up no space. It's the size of a cooler that you would normally bring to the beach. Yeah. Right. So. Yeah, it is. It works. So, so one last thought. So we're thinking about doing a little sort of 5-minute weekly thoughts. I think that might be kind of fun. We have a lot to say, but sometimes it doesn't fit into a traditional themed video. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I mean, I have a lot to say. I always have a lot to say. She never stops talking.
Well, I do.
Well, speaking of which, just as a side note, it's funny to us. We already did this recording once, and then we went to play it on the TV and found out that there was no sound. Yeah. So this is actually our second time of taking this video. I hope it works this time.
I'm pretty sure that it's not anywhere close to the same. But it is kind of fun. It was kind of funny watching the raw video with us talking and no sound at all.
We're such idiots.
So that was pretty funny. Anyway, so if you like this video and you want to see more, give us a thumbs up. How about subscribe? That would be really great. And if you hit the bell will let you know, remind you that a new video is available to watch, and you get to watch it right away, and that would be awesome.
Wow.
Right?
I'm going to have to hit that bell.
You should hit that bell.
I should subscribe to our channel. Sorry.
You haven't subscribed yet?
No.
Rude. Anyway, so what do we say?
Thanks for being our guest.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye.
See you next time.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think we can. Hi, guys. I'm Sharon, and welcome to the guest house.
And I'm Barry. Welcome to the guest house.
Let's try that again.
Why?